Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Louis.
Oh, God.
No, I wanted to talk to you about Louis because...
Irate, disgusted, horrified.
I have so many... I mean, I have a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't stop him from doing stand-up. Like,
No.
it's like you can't tell a writer they can't write, a painter they can't paint.
Yeah.
And I feel like... I mean, because I know you're friends with Rebecca Corey.
Yeah.
And it's just... I feel like it's tearing the community apart.
I just think there's, there's a couple things. One, I could probably, of course I'm not, mention 10 other women that he did this to. Right. So I think when people go, they like, oh, well, there's only a couple. Oh, he didn't, you're just like, are you at like that notion is inconceivable.
Okay.
And super gross. We've known about it forever.
Right.
He's just been, and it's like, okay, then it's the argument you got to separate the art from the, person. But he's just he's also the most powerful man in stand-up, or was.
Right.
But
also...
There's
there's another factor that he head of his production company, a woman. He he produced shows for women. I mean, he is in his work a feminist, but in his, he's obviously got a major fucking problem that he would do this, but it is this power. I don't know. It's just so, I feel like it's really tearing us apart as far as, because comics always stick together.
Yeah. We always stick together. And I defend, I get, when people start like ripping on stand-ups, I want to like murder them. Right. I will literally defend stand-ups to the, like, they're my favorite group of people. Right. They're so blatantly misunderstood. Everyone just thinks we're like crying, getting up at 8 o'clock, doing some, set at night. You're like, I know. No, I understand. No one is.
What when they're like, you work an hour a night? It's like, fuck you. I work 24 fucking hours a day, you asshole.
Like, it literally, we work harder than, like, I would say, like, anybody in the arts.
Right.
And then most people, like, people just phone their fucking jobs in from 9 to 5. We work all day and then we work all night.
Right.
It's nonstop.
And get on planes and just to fucking get on stage.
Just get on stage. But the Louis thing is like, I'm not saying he, can't do stand up again, obviously. But the way, first of all, the way it happened, the lack of remorse and apology, when he came clean.
Well, he did write that.
But it was like the shittiest. I don't even know if he ever said, I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, it was so shitty.
Right.
He did something because he had to. Then he's like, I'm going to take a long time. 8 months later, it comes back. Okay, maybe that you think that's a long time, but at least handle it correctly.
Well, my thing is that you can't get on stage and not mention it.
Yeah, and at least have the human decency, which clearly he's lacking, to say, guys, this is super awkward. Everything I did was super fucked up. Like, just acknowledge it and then move on.
That was the one thing.
And so now I'm done.
I have always been a fan of Louis' stand-up. I think he, was one of the few guys who really did employ women.
Yeah.
He's the father of daughters. I think he has a problem, with the fucking jerking off and all that shit. And, but you can't get on stage and say, I lost 35 million. Like, I thought it's like,
and then
I don't
go,
even have
okay, I'm
35.
done.
And this whole idea of it's a second chance, like, it's not a second chance. He's starting from
Yeah.
way above where everyone else starts.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's the audience. My thing is the audience will decide.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the people will get up but
I just think
it's horrible.
It's horrible. And what I fear, and I'm sure this is what's going to happen when you have a white, powerful man in charge, is in 6 months it'll just be swept under the rug. You know,
Right.
like, and it's just I just think, like, God, where's just the human decency?
Right.
Where it's just like manners, just, you know what I mean? Like, and people go, it's just jerking off. Like, that's so upsetting.
Well, it's such a power thing. And the other thing is, who wants to watch someone jerk off?
It's
all right.
The
Whatever.
whole thing is so gross.
You had an experience on Chelsea lately, which I never did that show.
Yeah.
Apparently, I heard that she doesn't like me.
That's insane.
I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did, Chelsea. I don't know what I did. Oh, she's half Jewish. And I read about this in a bunch of articles that you got, and it wasn't her.
No.
Because, you know, she's hosting the show, and you're on this panel, and you're between two male comics.
Yeah.
Who are shouting over you anytime you speak.
Yeah.
Is that...
It was not only that, they were gross. They were just gross pigs. And if I had, I just moved to LA, I didn't have a lot of confidence,
right?
You know, and so I just kind of sat
it's so
there.
hard.
And I was
People
trying
don't...
to get a joke in.
Right.
It was such a miserable experience. It would be different now, because I would look at them and be like, can you
Go
guys shut
fuck
the fuck
yourselves.
off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you're just like sitting there, you're like, oh God, it felt like the first year at Boston Comedy Club where I was
Right.
the only woman. And so many times I was like, I'm just going to run out the door. I'm going to run out the door and be like, I have the flu. Like,
Right.
that's what it felt like. They were just screaming. And then it was, I don't even care. It doesn't matter what their names are. It was Gary Valentine and Finesse Mitchell. And they were nice enough to me. They were just trying to get their jokes
Right.
in. But then Finesse had some nasty, like, gross gay comment. It was just a joke. I'm not saying he's a homophobe, but it was
What
gross.
did he say?
It was something about when, what's her face, Lindsay Lohan was dating the DJ.
Right.
It was some gross, like, you know, gay joke. And that's how we started. So I was on the defense.
Right, of course.
And then they were screaming over me. And I was
people
like,
don't realize that. Like, the first person who speaks sets the tone.
Yeah.
You know, especially in a stand-up show. Like,
Yeah.
the MC sets the tone.
Yeah.
Like, people just hire MCs because it's a thankless job who
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck they're doing. And
It's
it can
the most
fuck
important
up.
part
Right.
of the show.
And in this, when I started in the 80s and the MC was the star of the show.
That's what
you
it
know,
should
and
be.
it should be like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
so fucking fucked up in this business. They did a I don't know if, well, you of course you know the L Word was like the first lesbo show, and then they did the real L Word.
oh, yeah.
And they asked you to do it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember. Was the real L Word like
I
a real
watched-
version, like a reality show version of a real?
It was. I watched the first couple episodes because I had two friends of mine on it, and then I was like, I can't. But it was so. The thing about it, it's like it's this weird thing where like you put yourself up on stage,
Right.
And you're like. But then I'm extremely shy after. Like, I don't want to hang out. I don't like
I know.
I don't like any of it. I like to like crawl. I like run out. Like,
Right,
and I'm like,
same.
give me my gin and tonic. Get me away from
Right.
everybody. So that, and I was dating a performer at the time, and she did improv, and she was a really good actress and writer and stuff like that. So of course we were like the perfect people for
Right.
it. But we were, and I think probably
Did she
want to
do it?
I think she was really like, yes.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, this
so
is
they
my
came
worst
up to
fucking
you
nightmare.
and said,
Yeah, I mean, they were just kind of putting it together, and we were like in consideration, and I was like, oh fuck no, like this is my worst nightmare.
right?
Like to have like
and it would have been decent money too.
no, it would have been probably terrible money.
Oh, all
Those
right.
shows pay like $1.50.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming it was terrible money.
But it's everyone does shit for their fucking career. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's exposure. It's
Yeah,
right.
but that to me was just like the most like horrifying concept. Like a camera in my house.
right.
That's the thing with social
It's horrible.
media.
I did Celebrity Wife Swap.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I did not know that. How did I
with,
not know that?
Penn Jillette, and both of us both didn't want to do it, and they kept asking and asking,
Yeah.
and we were going to be the first same-sex couple ever on. and the money was good.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And we did it, and Henry hated it. But the great thing about it was that, our gay family came out looking like normal and never mentioned it. And it was like, I think we were the most relatable.
That's
and
like
so I thought it was a good thing to do, and I needed the money.
Wait, what's the concept again? You
switch. So like,
he lives with
he
your
lives
wife
with
and you...
Elisa. Elisa went over there, and his wife, who won't admit she's Jewish because she's atheist or agnostic or whatever, came and lived with us. And I have this 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom, tiny, 1,000 square feet, and they have a fucking compound.
Oh my God!
And Elisa's like, she's like, I love the hair and makeup, and playing golf every day, and
oh my God,
where
are they? Manhattan?
No, they live in Vegas.
Oh, they live in Vegas. Oh my God.
The first time you talked about being gay on stage, you were at the Starlight Lounge in East Village.
Do you remember that place? Did you ever do a show there?
I don't think so.
Oh, it was like the greatest place.
Really?
Ever. It was like this, just a gay bar, and they had a room in the back. And Keith Price, I don't know if you know Keith Price. You probably know. He did he like hosted a Sirius. Did they still have the gay channel on Sirius? Did that whole thing
that's
fold?
done.
He co-hosted one of the gay shows on Sirius before or after like Frank DiCarlo, and he created this awesome room in the back,
right?
And it just felt like the safest place in America.
So did you know you were going to do it that night? Like at that night, did you say, I'm going to come out?
I don't know. I think it was like brewing. I was like one of these nights, and it probably was sort of planned, but I was like shaking.
Right.
Meanwhile, I had been doing stand for like 7 years.
Right.
So there's no reason to like shake.
Right. Because it's like you're admitting it to yourself.
Yeah.
You're admitting it. So what was the joke?
I can't exactly remember the joke, but I think there was a line of like, I can't exactly remember. It might have been that like my parents at one time, my twin was dating a black guy, my older sister was dating a Jewish guy, and I was dating a lesbian, and we played the game like who could horrify our parents more.
That's great.
And like the order of acceptance was Jewish man, lesbian, black man.
Right.
But
that's horrible.
Yeah. But if the lesbian was Catholic, she'd trump the Jew.
Oh, that's good.
And I
that's
think,
great.
I think I said, "Oh God, I'm gay." I like blurted it out. I was like, "This is," and Keith was like, "This is the first time you've ever said you're gay." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gay," and the place was like, "Whoa!" Like it was so supportive and wonderful, and I thought, "Oh, I can do this.
Yeah,
like I can do this."
When did you tell your parents that you were a lesbo?
My mom asked me if I was gay.
When?
Probably maybe like a year after I figured out I was gay.
So how old were
Mary
you?
Foley. 26 or 27.
Okay. So
yeah.
All right, let's do the scene. Erin, can I talk to you? How does she talk?
Sort of like that.
Erin, hi, it's Mom. Can I talk to you?
Breakfast table. I'd been there a week.
Okay.
Amtrak 10 a.m. This is at 8 a.m.
Okay.
The last possible window you could have a conversation in true Irish Catholic style.
Okay.
And then it was.
You want coffee? All right, go ahead.
It was always about religion. She'd go, "Are you going to church?" I go, "Mom, why are we talking about this again? We've talked about this like ad nauseum." I was like, "Sometimes I go, sometimes I don't." Blah blah blah. And I did the whole spiel. You can have faith without going to church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can have a bagel on the way to church. And then I go, "Why you ask me this?" And she goes, "Well, I mean, are your entertainer friends gay?" And I was like, "What?" It was like the first time she said the word ever.
Right.
And I go, "Some of them are, some of them aren't."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, are you gay?" And I was like, "Listen, my life in New York City," and I just went around.
Oh yeah. It's so hard.
It was 8
'Cause
a.m.
My father called me. I don't even know how old I was. Must have been 25. And he called me in the morning, and is like, asked me, and I was like, I was like, I just woken up. I'm like, I need preparation.
Yeah.
He died. I never told him before he died. But
No way.
yeah, when my mother found out, she goes, "Why did you lie to your father?" I'm like, oh my God, hello. I mean, I made you call me Ringo and Robert when I was growing up. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so
Clearly,
it's like you're like, well,
I was like, can I get a practice run?
Yeah.
Can I even I couldn't even prepare like an intelligent monologue for her.
So how did that conversation end?
And then she said it again.
Right.
She's like, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "Well, might as well do this." And I was like, "Yeah." And then she brought up kids, and I was like, I'm not even dating. I was like, Mom, can we just pump the brakes on all of this? And then she was like, I'm devastated. And I said, well, I knew you would be. And we paused, and she goes, well, we got to return that Blockbuster video before you make the train.
No way.
And I go, okay. And I got in the car, and I'm returning the Blockbuster video like, is this happening? Is this happening? And then I get back into the house, and she goes, and I just didn't even know how, this is going to be so awkward.
Right.
She goes, Erin, you know what? In my AARP magazine, Billy Crystal has this really good article about creativity, and I cut it out for you. I think it's going to be a really good read on the train. And that was it.
Wow.
And I knew it would be super awkward, but and then they would be totally fine, and we would never talk about it again. And that's exactly what happened. Like 4 months later.
So you never talked about it again?
We literally never discussed it, and I never had a conversation with my dad. Because he was away, he traveled a lot.
Right, paper.
And then, then it was Merchant Marines, it was fishing, it was a lot. But I was moving in with my girlfriend a couple years later, and he was like, what are you doing this week? I said, oh, well, Mom didn't tell you I'm moving in with Karen. And this is, he goes, yep, right, yep, right, yep, yeah, that's right, yep. That went on for like 2 minutes.
Yep, right, yep, okay,
and I was like, okay. And he goes, okay, great. Let me know how that goes. Great. That was it.
And so have you ever discussed it since?
No, but I brought home girlfriends and, but they're just so awkward. They're the two most awkward people alive.
Right.
So it's like if we didn't bring home Jesus, it almost nothing to do that it was gay.
Right.
It was just so awkward.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and
your sisters
fine.
Could give a shit.
Oh my God, they were so pissed at my mom when she were devastated.
Right.
They were like, they called her and like ripped her a new one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. They were fine, but it's just awkward.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Let's talk about Bob.
Oh,
Bob Smith. He loved you.
What a game changer that man was.
Oh.
Like personally and professionally. Yeah.
He was my best friend. I miss him every fucking day.
You two together, like I that was like the world's greatest combo.
Oh, I know. He's so stubborn though. He was, but he loved you.
Oh my God, I just felt so incredibly lucky that I met him and he took a shine to me.
Yeah,
like he just was. You revere him on so many levels, and all his book. He just was like, this
oh my God, his books are
like
amazing.
A unicorn.
You know what's amazing is that I gave Elisa his book of his essays. I think it was Way to Go, Bob, one of his first books. And she'll read it in bed and laugh. Yeah. Like she'll just all of a sudden start laughing, and I feel like he's there.
Yeah.
It's what a loss.
What you just think of all these jackholes that are still living.
Trump. So, yeah.
And then and then Poppy Kramer.
Yeah.
We just lost her a couple.
I know. What the fuck is that?
One of my best friends for the last 20 years.
Well, yeah. What was that?
And we lose Bob Smith and Poppy Kramer.
I know.
And then dump trucks leading our.
Yeah.
And then fucking fucktard Pence. It's so upsetting. Even just, it's terrible to say, but even we have so many jackhole comics.
Right.
Can we just have, we lose such good ones.
I know.
But Bob went out of his way for me.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when I moved to California, when I moved to LA, Bob called Poppy Champlin, a manager, 3 other how I know the people I know in LA that I met very quickly that literally
through Bob.
It was through Bob.
Right.
He didn't have to,
was
like,
so
he didn't have to
generous.
do any of that,
I know.
You know?
He's the greatest.
And he also just sets the example of like how you should live your life and
Right.
how you should help people. And
Right.
I think comics are very, I find them to be very helpful. You know what I mean? Like the ones that really support you. But he was just,
I've seen a shift because I remember all the guys would always help each other.
yeah.
You know, like you look at Ray Romano,
Yeah.
every one of his friends worked on that show.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin James would not even be here
Yeah.
if it wasn't. And it was all men. But those were his buddies. And then I was like, why don't the women help? And then I realized because the women don't have the opportunity.
We don't have the opportunity. And, and when you do, I
mean,
see
the ones
people pulling
right.
in.
So the ones
Yeah.
that have only helped me, Rosie and Margaret Cho,
Yeah.
and it was women who have given me my biggest,
Yeah.
career advances.
Yeah.
And I love Margaret.
I think I remember there's a couple specials that I remember seeing going, you can do that in comedy.
Right.
And it was Maria Bamford and Margaret Cho.
Maria Bamford's fucking awesome.
When I saw Maria Bamford's special, I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was just starting out and I was like, is that possible?
What do you think of Hannah Gadsby?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it.
I kind of feel like she's a storyteller and a satirist.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, when I watched her special, which was riveting, the amount of rage in her face when
Yeah.
she was,
Yeah.
that's not stand up to me.
Yeah.
That's more theater, and
Yeah.
but
It felt like it felt like a true wonderful, like the best of the best one woman show that I've ever seen in my entire life, which
Except for
sprinkled in
mine.
stand up, except for yours, which sprinkled in stand up and
Right.
then all of it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the only comment I had was the freedom she had was amazing.
Right.
We don't when we're working these comedy clubs Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I can't even touch those subjects. It feels like
well, she there's like a gift in her autism, that she doesn't have those.
yeah. But if it should be required watching for every fucking human
Yeah.
on the planet. It was amazing.
Okay, so what? I hate this question because it's when you're a comic. What's next? What do you have your podcast?
It's a three-prong attack.
Okay, go.
I kind of decided in stand up that so I've been headlining these like straight comedy clubs forever.
Right.
And I'm burning out.
Right.
And it's becoming not fun.
Right. You can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
So Jason Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jason's like been one of my really good friends, and he moved to Baltimore. And I was like, listen, after Trump Pence, I was like, I've been thinking about this for a while. I need to like change the model, not the existing model, but like for me, I want to do like a straight gay little comedy tour and hit these like small cities and
Right.
small theaters that need LGBTQ and adjacent content.
Right.
So we kind of banded together and we're doing this. It's called Come Out Laughing Tour. It's like that's
awesome.
Like some gay, some straight, all hilarious or whatever.
Yeah, I want to do a tour.
So yeah, because then when you're on the road, you're
not
you
alone.
can say anything.
Right.
You're not alone. You're bringing comedy to a community. Like we're
Right.
going to Spokane.
Oh, that's great.
It's like in desperate need
Right.
of anything gay or
Right.
just some exposure to be like, okay, I'm not alone in Spokane. So that is going to be like my super like passion project for stand up. And I think it mentally and physically and spiritually, I'll just have so much more fun doing stand up.
Right, because people
Yeah.
don't realize how fucking solitary it is.
It's so solitary. And also you have to like conform to like, I
Right.
land in San Antonio and I'm like, oh,
I know.
which way is this going to go?
I know. It's
Right?
so
It's
scary.
awful.
It's so bad because if you don't have the show to look forward to,
Yeah.
then you're like
fucked. Yeah. So yeah, in the sports, I'm going to try to develop into a show, and then trying to get staffed.
Are you going to move back to New York?
Probably not.
Why? You have the girlfriend in the 140s.
I know, but the I just feel like it's like the same life, and the for me the money and the stability and security is like more in the writing, and that's LA. I feel like I'm going to give that a real whirl. And
okay,
see what
if you
happens.
got a job in New York.
Oh, I would take it in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Oh God, 30 seconds. It would
Because
take no
they're
convincing.
building all these. I just did an episode
Yeah.
of Murphy Round, but they're building all these studios.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I mean, it's going to be like Burbank over
Yeah.
in Queens. and the Bronx.
How was Murphy Brown? Was it the greatest?
It was
thing ever?
amazing. I mean, I was so excited that because Tyne Daly's on there, so she was my.
So awesome.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Like I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It's going to be the Thanksgiving episode,
Oh my
and
God,
just
I can't
Faith
wait.
Ford is the nicest person ever.
It's so great.
Just you know what's great about doing Murphy Brown? The whole writing staff, my age and older. There were
As it should
two
be.
camera people, women in their 60s, who
So
had been
awesome.
doing it for. It was the writing is phenomenal. The whole staff is mature. You know,
Yeah.
it's not,
Yeah.
and you know they're so happy to have like
Yeah.
jobs again. You
Yeah.
know, they were all like, all right, you know, like I think Faith had moved, and I would see Grant at auditions and stuff, and he's like, ugh, ugh.
Yeah.
And they're just
Yeah.
so grateful. I hate that word, but
Yeah.
they're hashtag grateful, and
Yeah.
they're yeah, it's just so professional. And Diane English, I mean, whatever.
These are like legends, you know. We're lucky. Oh my God, I can't wait to see you on Murphy Brown. That's so
please,
awesome.
it's one scene. What? All right, so I asked my guests 2 questions.
Okay.
First of all, because we're very pro mental health,
Yes,
are you or have you ever been on any antidepressants?
I have not.
What?
Yeah.
Never. Just
Never.
alcohol.
A lot of booze.
Right.
And I was never a drug person. Like, you know,
Did you ever smoke
weed-
pot?
Yeah, some weed now and then, but
Right.
I'm terrible at weed. I
Right.
excel at drinking.
Okay.
But now I can at least have a healthy relationship with booze.
What is a healthy relationship with booze?
I can cut it off at 2.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I always vowed if I can't cut off at 2, I got to give it up.
Right.
But I can so far cut it off at 2.
I had like 3 glasses of wine last night, and then I called Elisa, and she's like, "What? Did you have wine?" I mean, it's like, okay, Elisa, I'm not your child.
Oh, God.
This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and you know, sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, you know, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
The last question I ask all my guests is, as you know, I'm always pissed off about something.
Yes, that's what makes
Which
you
is-
the funniest woman on
Oh,
earth.
thank you. And I also, name the podcast Kill Me Now, because I say Kill Me Now
Yeah.
about 1,000 times a day. So what pisses you off the most? Like, what makes you so fucking crazy pissed off? It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be like walking up the like this.
I use this as an example often, but when people are looking at their fucking phones when they're walking up the stairs out of the subway and fucking delaying me. All right, go ahead.
I honestly I have so many.
Yeah, that's good.
Can I give a couple?
Yeah. Judah Friedlander brought an entire list. Go ahead.
One of the reasons why I left New York was when people wouldn't let me off the subway. When they came in the subway before I got off the subway.
I can't.
I started taking my elbows out and swinging my elbows to get off. And I was like, just screaming, just absolutely screaming at people. It was so fucking irritating.
Worst. And it's like,
it's just how it works. It's also manners. Like,
but it's also like you're supposed to let people out before you go on, even when you open a door.
It's literally how the subway works.
Right.
Also,
I hate
if
that
some
shit.
fucktard doesn't like hold the door and the door closes in front of me and I'm behind you, I want to literally punch him in the back of the head.
Right.
I do think we should get it like a punch card or a slap card once a year. You can slap or hit anyone without any repercussions. Because it's so... And then LA, I have to transfer to the car. I mean, people's fucking car addict. You want to murder them.
The problem with the driving in LA is that you don't know how long anything's going to take. And you can't plan anything. Yeah. That's why I love New York. I can ride my bike. I can take the subway. Yeah.
I think it makes me so angry that my new dream is... I'm at a stoplight and it's a big intersection and there's people crossing. So I can't take a right, even though I can take a right on red because I'm going to literally run down people. And someone behind me is like on his horn and on his horn. Shit. And I literally, like, my blood boils. I want to put it in park. The dream is you put it in park, you open the door, you get out, and you pick them out of the car, you slam them, and you scream at them.
You slam out against
for like
the hood.
10 minutes. And then they go, oh, I'm really sorry about that. And you go, all right, cool. That's like literally a dream. It's like a fantasy that I keep repeating.
I was walking across the street on Canal Street, and someone was going into the Holland Tunnel, and I saw the green light, and I went to walk, and I realized it was a green light for them to make a right turn, and this guy starts like beeping so loud and like almost ran me over, like purposely, almost like
rage.
When I was walking and he started speeding up and I stopped in front of the car and I took my phone and I bashed it on the hood of his car.
My God, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I just walked away and he's got the window open. He's screaming. I had headphones on. I was listening to the news, so I didn't fucking hear a word he said. And that was it. But it's like, I can't, just shut the fuck up. Like, I'm walking across the street. You don't have to fucking beep and almost fucking kill me because you had a fucking bad day at work, you fucking cocksucker.
Yeah, I just, it's like those moments where you're just like, I want to murder you. Like, I actually just want to like just shake them.
Right.
And scream like, wake the fuck up.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Seriously, what is wrong with you? I'm in Metro North and these two fucking dingbats, 9 a.m. on Monday, started talking about their dumb fucking Trump-tards on the Metro North, talking about the caravan. They don't even know what they're fucking talking about on volume 8.
Wait, what were they saying? They're pro?
They were literally like, it's like those dumb Fox News sound bites that they repeat and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Oh, these people are going to come in and we're going to have to pay for them. But Trump's got it. Trump's going to send an army down there. And you're just like, what? Are you fucking out of your mind?
I got in a car and the guy, the driver, it was last week, says to me, because, I'm very vocal about my dislike and hatred of him. The driver's like, well, I heard we're gonna get like a 10% tax cut. I'm like, you're not gonna get a 10%. The Congress isn't even in session.
One reads.
Like,
no one reads.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
And he knows that, and so he fucking spews out.
Yeah.
Why is it okay to lie?
Yeah.
Why is it okay to lie?
Can I do one more really quick?
Ahead.
Parents that have little kids on an airplane, because we live on airplanes, that put video games on to these little fucking fucktards, and they don't put earphones on when you go put earphones on. It's going to hurt my child's ears. I will literally murder. I will fucking murder.
Here's what I have to say as a parent, but now my kids are adults, almost. Benadryl.
Okay, Benadryl.
Whiskey in the gums.
Right.
Earphones. Their ears aren't going to fall off.
I can't stand that.
I literally, like, I'm supposed to, like, have a 5-hour flight while your little fucking Timmy listens to some goddamn Disney movie that is terrible. It makes me, I want to kill them.
All right, Erin.
Now that I'm filled with rage.
Yeah, it's the best, isn't it?
It is.
Fucking assholes. Where can people find you?
Now
Now, you told me that you deleted Twitter, but now you're going to be
put it back on. I deleted CNN and MSNBC during Kavanaugh. Then I deleted Twitter about 5 days ago. And then now that I'm sort of traveling and then I just feel like I need access, that I put Twitter back on. But
So
I only do like 5-minute increments. Website, erinkfoley.com has got all tour dates. And then
Foley.
Foley. And then my Sports Without Balls podcast is free on iTunes and allthingscomedy.com.
And is that once a week?
Once a week. I record it on Mondays and it's up on Tuesdays.
Wow. Mine's up on Tuesdays too.
I try. Sometimes it's Wednesdays.
All right. We need consistency.
Yeah, I know. I'm not consistent.
Erin, thank you very much.
I feel like I could talk to you for 800
I know.
hours.
I could go. I have to go to
my
this
favorite.
stupid fucking meeting. I don't feel like going. All right, whatever.
You're the best.
You are.
So good to see you.
You too. Take care.
can't
And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.